Gold viewers from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and MC for Gold Learning. And today I'm chatting with Dr. Frank Nice about his upcoming presentation, The Recreational Drug Marijuana Dilemma. Welcome, Dr. Nice.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us here at Gold today about your upcoming presentation. But before we dive into the topic, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your professional journey?
Okay, sure. My professional journey kind of parallels my personal journey. I've been a pharmacist for over 50 years, and I've been a father for over 40 years. I have 6 children, and I've been a grandfather now for about 15 years and have 10 grandchildren. And those children were breastfed, and that's where my professional journey merged with my personal journey as a father and a grandfather. And I became very interested in medications and breastfeeding, being a pharmacist and being a father over, like I said, 50, no, over 40 years ago.
Thank you for sharing that. So it's a very personal topic for you, and it is wonderful. Breastfeeding is very personal to you, and you have seen it with your family and now with your grandchildren here as well. And you are presenting on the recreational drug marijuana dilemma. Not only, and I know you had a peek at your presentation. I was lucky enough to peek through the PowerPoint presentation, and you're dealing also with not only breastfeeding, but also during pregnancy. So tell us a little how you got involved with this topic.
As I talked about the prescription drugs and mainly in the beginning and their use during breastfeeding, I found there were other drugs that breastfeeding mothers take besides prescription drugs. Those were the first questions I always got. Then I found out they're probably taking more over-the-counter drugs than they are even prescription drugs. And then when herbals became big, herbal use is really great among breastfeeding moms, especially galactagogues. And then I realized, having talked to different lactation consultants and Lactation leaders, that recreational drug was also a big issue. And if, recently, marijuana has really come into the picture because many states have now made marijuana use legal or medical use legal. And I found out that many moms who were breastfeeding and also pregnant were actually using recreational drugs and marijuana to a higher degree than I ever thought.
That is very interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, that has an influence on breastfeeding, of course. So, what is it that you would like our delegates to take away from this presentation?
I think the main thing I would like the delegates to take away from the presentation is that when we're talking about prescription drugs or over-the-counter medications or herbal medications, including galactagogues, that in most cases the mom can continue to take the drug and continue to breastfeed because there are compatible drugs with breastfeeding out there, or if they're not compatible, we can find other categories of drugs that could be used. So, in almost all cases, a mom can continue to breastfeed. The situation is different with recreational drugs and marijuana, both in pregnancy and in breastfeeding. And even commonly used recreational drugs such as caffeine or alcohol can be abused. The takeaway message for these drugs is that not only can there be acute effects on the fetus or the breastfed baby, but there can be even long-term consequences of taking these drugs during pregnancy or breastfeeding that can have effects on children even in their teenage and young adult years. So we need to really think through the whole situation, especially when recreational drugs are being used.
That's a very good point you made there about especially about the long-term consequences, not only the short-term, how does it affect the infant, the baby, but also over years to come in some cases. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Nice, for spending time with me here today, chatting about your topic, the recreational drug marijuana dilemma. The presentation will be live on April 23rd and is part of the Gold Lactation Online Conference 2018. For more information on this presentation and when it's being held in your time zone and the other presentations in the Gold Lactation Conference, please visit goldlactation.com. Thank you to all our listeners, and thank you one more time, Dr. Frank. Nice. Bye-bye.